This will be a quick tutorial on the basics of editing in Adobe Premiere. To start, you'll recognize this purple PR logo. That's the Premiere attachment that you'll find in your application to open up. The first page is simply New Project. And when you do that, there is, this is just mostly marketing material, but up in the top left corner, you can name your project. I'll call it Hello. And next to it is where the location of the project might live. You can choose a location. I'm going to choose my desktop so that I can find it. You may want to choose your storage file. And then in the bottom right corner, I'm going to create. When I do that, I get these 4 boxes. If you don't see those, if it looks different than this, go to Windows, Workspaces, and Editing. These are all defaults about how things look. And so this is the same place that you may pull up your graphics, or you might do effects. But start with Editing. It's the most basic 4 boxes. We're going to focus at first on this Import Media box. This is where you're going to put all your raw material, the things that aren't edited yet. And so in it, I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Import, and I need to find where my media is. I put mine on the desktop and called it Hello Video Raw, and these are all of the things that I have. I have pictures of my dog, my cat. Here's my raw stand-up right here. There's some pictures of me at work that'll work fine with this. So I simply imported all those in. The other thing you can do is just like drag them in from your desktop if you want, but it's either one works. Now, if I double click on my raw stand-up, it is a viewer box here. And again, this isn't edited yet. This just lets me see and hear my raw material. There's the whole thing right there. And you can see over here to the right, there's a bar that goes up and down, which shows that I have some audio. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this whole thing because I can edit it in this sequence box. I'm going to grab it and just pull it to the right. I did that because there's both audio and video that I want that's going to be like the main layer of my piece. And so there are other ways to do it, but that's probably the simplest for this particular assignment. These buttons here at the bottom, a reminder, are important. They can elongate so you can see more clearly the minutia of your audio and video. Here, how short it is, it's less than 30 seconds long, but when I do this, that same distance is like half a second, okay? So what I want to do is, I want to get rid of this pause at the front. I'm just turning my recorder on. I can see audio-wise here about when I start to talk, so I'll give myself a little bit of pad, okay? There's 2 things I can do. I could take this and make a red bulldozer right on the end, and I could just pull it to the place I want it to start, and that has deleted all of that. If I think I've made an error, I'm going to do Control-Z, and it'll go back to where it was. The other way to do it is to grab this razor tool. It looks like an old school, little razor. If you click on that and you put it where you want to put it, go back to the selection tool so that you don't click another area to edit. And then when you highlight it by using your mouse, you can hit the delete, and that will delete that area as well. Now, I don't want it to start in a black space, so I'm going to use this forward tool, and I'm going to put it anywhere on the left side of everything else, and I'm going to click my mouse. It'll highlight again. Go back to selection. I'm going to pull it forward. Now I'm at the beginning of where I want to be. I could see I have audio here on channel 1 and video. Here, V1 video, A1 is my 1 channel of audio, which is my voice. These other boxes, A2, A3, A4, I'm going to turn off for now because I don't have any audio that I need to have in those channels. However, I am going to turn on the V2 button, which is Video 2. I'm going to spread this out a little bit more, and I'm going to find that place where I start wanting to add something over the top of my voice. I'm going to add some work pictures, for example. So I'm talking about my local TV markets here. So I'm going to find an image over here of me working with a couple of my producers, and I'm going to grab it with my mouse and I'm going to drop it right on top on that V2 line. And if you remember, in video, the element that is the highest up will supersede the video down below it. So you could see my stand-up goes along and then it disappears. This doesn't really disappear. This is still here, but it's covered so you can't see it. All right. So the picture isn't the right size. We'll do that in a little bit.
I also have a great passion for animals.
Okay. I'm going to talk about my passion for animals about right here. This is a little short. And so I can use my bulldozer and I can grab it to be a little bit longer easily. I can also touch it with my mouse and I can pull it wherever I want to pull it. But I like it about right here. Now I'm going to talk about my dog and my cat. I love animals, so I'm going to drop that picture in there.
I have a British mountain dog named Mr. Barkley and a cat, Mr. Franklin.
Now I'm going to, because I have both my animals there, I'm not going to put two in there, just one. And I'm done. And so I'm going to use my bulldozer and I'm going to pull this to the end, both of these, and that's going to be over.
And a cat, Mr. Franklin.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back. These pictures aren't quite the right size. So I want to show you how to do those again. If I touch this picture, again, it's about light around the boxes. If I touch this picture and I go up here in my raw box to Effect Controls, if I close all these, this is what it'll look like. This little triangle next to the FX button, open that up and you get this position and scale. Those are important when you're moving pictures or video around. This scale, I'm going to open up that triangle as well and I get this slider. And I can decide on exactly how big I want this picture to be. I want it to be full screen. I don't want to see myself underneath. And I don't want to be too tight just on my face. So I'm going to pick the size of that. I'm happy with that. That's where it's going to stay. This picture, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to scale first, and I'm going to make it the right size. But I want to move this one just a little bit down. There's more down than up. So I'm going to get it about the right size. And then I'm going to touch the word position. And I'm just going to drag it with my mouse kind of to the center where I want it. So I can move that around however I want. Okay? So that makes me pretty happy. So now what we have here is my stand-up. I covered it with a picture and I covered it with another picture. If I happen to want to put video down, you may end up with an audio too, which is some natural sound of you at the park or singing or something that you want to hear. If you have audio that you pull in that comes onto, for example, video 3 and in audio 2, when you drag it over, you'll want to turn down the audio as much as you possibly can. So you still want to hear it, but you want to turn it down. So let me just go over audio levels on the one that I have on how to change those. I can see there's audio here, but I can't see an easy way to change it. So if you go here, look at the mouse between A1 and A2, I'm going to just create this little marker and I'm going to find that sweet spot. I'm going to make this visually larger. This whole thing, A1, A2, visually larger. When I do so, this bar appears. That creates more volume, that creates less volume. I'm pretty happy with my volume, but on natural sound, you may want to bring it down to here so it doesn't compete with your voice. Okay? Finally, I want to add a graphic of who I am. That, I'm going to go up to Window, Workspace, Captions and Graphics, and that'll give me an extra side box over here. And in the Browse tool here under Essential Graphics, there are all these pre-made graphics. And usually lower thirds are used a lot for the television industry. So there's a bold lower third, there's a basic lower third. I like 2 lines so I can say, who I am. So this classic lower 2/3 is a real good one. I just touch that with my mouse and pull it onto either the V2 or the V1 line. Doesn't really matter, whatever's open. And I'm going to pull it there. And then when I highlight that, I see that I have the word insert graphic name in 2 places. Up here on the right, under edit, along with add title here, and here. I can change these letters either way. I can insert name now. I can double click it a few times. It'll change colors. And then I just type in my name, if I can spell it right. And then I do the same thing for the next title. I click it a couple of times. It's small, so maybe I go ahead and highlight it. And I'm just going to say reporter. Okay, so when I do that, now I have, these have changed from generic to Chris Halsney reporter. And that's on the screen. And this is what it looks like then.
Hi, my name's Chris Halsney. I'm the investigative broadcaster in residence at American University.
I've probably seen enough of that, so I'm going to go back to the graphic. I'm going to pull it there. It'll go away. And then I'm going to go to my picture, my next picture, my next picture, and then it's all over. And now I need to export this whole project. I'm going to export it 2 ways. One, I'm going to save the project. It's hello. I'm going to save it on the desktop. I'm saving it as the Adobe Premiere project file. Again, when I do this, it only saves all of the connectors, all of the things that I said to change the audio, to put the graphic in, all of the connectors, all of the rules, and it ends up looking like this over here on the right side, a little project. There is no media attached to it. Remember, your media stays on your drive or wherever it is, okay? This is a ghost image. So I can always, if I don't move my media, I can always take this little piece here to a different computer with Adobe Premiere on it and open it up and keep editing, make changes. I can see what I've done and have it, I don't have to repeat it. Here's what it's going to look like when you export into the movie portion. And so when you go to export and you go to media, you'll get this screen that looks pretty familiar. H.264 is a good format. The location I set when I initially did my setup to pick the project, but I could change that if I'd like. And here's my file name. So it's going to go onto the desktop. I'm going to change the name to Final Hello so that I know that this is my final package. And then I'm going to export it. When I export it, it takes a little while when they call encoding. It's essentially saying, all right, look, I see that you want to make this one movie, one thing to watch. So I'm going to take your graphic, I'm going to take your 2 pictures, I'm going to take all of the video and all of your audio, plus all of the edits and changes you made, and I'm going to send it to one place so that you can watch it. When it's done encoding, successfully exported, and now I can find that here on the desktop, Final Hello. And then I can play it. This is the piece that you'll upload to YouTube and make a private link and send me that link so that I can see it.